My hot take is that there are not enough comedies commissioned in Scotland.
Oh, that's a good one. What was the last comedy that you saw commissioned in Scotland?
I mean, well, that's a good question. I should probably have the stats to back it up a little bit more. It's more of a feeling. I think in general, people love the idea of a comedy, and they love saying on applications that like we would love to receive more comedies, and then what they commission is never a comedy. When I say comedy, I mean like a true comedy. This is it. I love dramedies. I'm a big fan, but like it would be great to see a comedy.
Totally.
And what does a Scottish comedy
Yeah.
feel like? And I think that's what we're afraid to do. And this is like also a UK-wide,
Yeah.
international-wide
Honestly, international.
problem. Yeah.
Yeah, so many comedies now are just blended in with other genres. You never get like just a hard, we're here to make you laugh.
And I don't, because I think like even in the realm of comedy, we will respect drama more. Which is why something like The Bear, which comes out of a comedy budget, and yet some episodes, I would argue, not funny and not trying to be funny, which is fine.
Yeah.
But then why are you coming out of the comedy budget and in the award season having to compete against shows like 40 Rock?
Yeah.
Or
30 Rock.
30. It's too early for me.
Weirdly, I think Scottish comedy has really been like relegated to TV.
Yeah.
And I say that, I mean like TV is amazing and the Scottish comedy on TV is really funny. But for some reason it's just never been in the film space.
And I will say like relegated to TV, but also in a very specific tone and very specific way. And I'll talk to comedians who have had meetings about getting stuff on, but it always kind of stops or gets held up. And I think there's so many amazing comedic voices in Scotland right now that deserve a show.
Yeah.
Just to test it. Give them a full series, you know? Just one. And comedies are so cheap to make. They're so cheap
they
because
are.
they're usually just like in one room or two locations maximum.
I know.
You're like, this can be really simple and this can be shot really simply. And there's this idea that we need to make everything look very high end and look very, quality, or else people won't watch it. And I'm like, what's always been true is that story and character. If they're good enough, we will keep watching. We will forgive sound issues. And I think, we have this theory about it needing to look high quality. And then you're like, but people are spending most of their time on phones and on social media watching very low quality stuff. Where people, when they switch genders, will put like a towel over their head.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're just like, yeah, fantastic. That's great. Because it's like we want something funny and relatable.
Yeah.
The good writing is what'll get us.
Some of the best comedy right now is happening in like someone's bedroom.
Which is a real shame because it also takes a very specific type of person and energy and goal to set up something in your bedroom and go, I'm going to make something for me alone. For me, it's very like being a stand-up as well as like I want to make people laugh in a room and get that feedback. So doing it, being like, oh, just do it alone where no one will laugh, and B, you should just riff because it's funny. And you're like, that's the worst thing. But yeah, it's that kind of stuff that like if you push through that and create something, that's great, and that needs to be funded.
If you could make a Scottish comedy, a film, what would it be about?
Well, I've got something in the works.
Oh!
I want it to feel like in the realm of Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle and Booksmart, and these ideas of characters going on journeys, but also use so many characters coming in, like Superbad, like you're going to move locations and meet new people, like almost like this Odyssey journey, but it's all towards the goal of like true character comedy.
We've got so many big characters and personalities in the Scottish comedy scene.
Yes.
I feel like
Yes.
you would have so many people to pick from.
Yeah, I just think that like, even something like Naked Gun had so much trouble being commissioned because it's,
just comedy.
Do we want a comedy? Yeah. And I think people are proving that they do. What do you think, like what's your comfort zone movies and shows that you want to return to? And yet we still have such little desire to make a true comedy.
Yeah, and I think people return to comedy more because think about like when we were young and you'd go to cinema and see something hilarious. You would go and get the DVD as soon as it came out and you would watch it like every now and then, like even once a year, or you'd stick it on when your pals are over because that was just the vibe. Like you just wanted something fun in the background. And you get so many cultural moments from comedy. Like it's important that they're happening and the people that like you look up to and the people in your sphere are in there.
And I think the good comedies still have amazing story, and that's what people forget is like, oh, it's just a couple jokes. I know how to write a joke, and it's like, a joke has to come from a character or a situation, and setting that up like a true, like finding a story arc that feels true to the character, and that they will follow through, and then finding everything, contradictory that will add to the comedy. It's difficult. It's the hardest thing to write, and like doing an undergrad in creative writing and then a master's in TV writing, and still people will be like, oh, like comedy's easy, and it's like, great, then write it.
Yeah, exactly.
I would love to see a script that you read that's very funny. Yeah.
What do you think are the cliches of Scottish comedy?
I feel like it's dangerous territory for me. Yes, yeah. Because I was gonna say, it feels like theatrical or panto, but it's on TV, and like sometimes I watch some things and I'm like, I can't believe this is allowed on TV. I feel like if I did this, I would be canceled, because it's like, it feels like an over the top. This is like a little beyond exaggeration, and it's not like good character stuff. It feels a lot. It feels not good to watch, I would say, in some instances.
I have a bee in my bonnet about bad Scottish representation in comedy, because I think sometimes characters are only Scottish to be the punchline.
Yes. Yes. And I think what's frustrating about it, because obviously I'm still watching stuff and finding, new stuff. I've been here 5 years, but there's always, new stuff to watch. But the comedy scene is so good.
Yes.
It's so strong, and like the entirety of the UK will admit how good the Scottish comedy scene and how overlooked it is. And that's the frustration is like, what about this whole other audience that I'm talking to and meeting that aren't being served, and that like are really resonating with comedians that are getting big off their own hard work. So there's an audience there for that, and there's something there that we could make with them that's like maybe a little bit different, widening the scopes of what Scottish comedy is, and showing the world that there is so much more here is necessary.
Totally. Yeah. So while we're on that subject, tell me about Get Your Goat.
Yes. So I started Get Your Goat with Chris Dudley and Heather Condack Ross, because we were all funny people who were really desperate to make sketches that weren't just, commissioned and waiting for something and waiting for potential development that probably wasn't coming. Yeah, so we shoot a lot of like a range of like, some is on camera and taken more carefully, and some is just shot on our phone and edited more quickly. But it's about like, we have so many ideas, and I'm this is it, is usually I just riff with my friends and make them laugh, and I feel good about that. But then there's a certain point where you go, no one is booking me off the back of having fun with my friends. No one is. I can't go into a meeting and go, just me, I'm very funny at home.
Behind closed doors, I'm hilarious.
I know, so it was part of that, like, okay, we have to, there's got to be a space for our sketch ideas, and we want to be able to make them and bring as many people from the Scottish scene in. Like, it's not just us three, it's about, okay, who's interested in pitching ideas or acting or, and then bringing everyone together and being able to riff and improvise as a group. And it's very, very, I think, that's what makes me excited, is going, I just want this to feel like one place, like a collective that a lot of people can come to and go, oh my God, they're so funny, and they're so funny, and they're so funny. And they're all going to provide different things, and it's not going to be the same dynamic because there's so many people included, but they're all so funny. Yeah.
It's lovely, and it gives people something to look forward to. Like, I love it when I come across one of the Get Your Goat videos, and I'm like, yes, what the fuck am I going to see this time?
It truly, from our end, is the same. What the fuck are we going to make this time? We're actually doing a live sketch show with the GICF next year. Being this comedy collective, it's like, great, we're doing sketches in this online, but we're like, oh, but we also have been doing this in the background, and why don't we bring this to the forefront as well? And because there are no panel shows up here. Yeah,
absolutely.
There's Breaking the News, which is amazing, but that's a radio. Once in a while they do a filmed for live TV. But yeah, it's like, we need a chaotic, fun, a different, something that maybe doesn't need to be daytime. Yeah. A little more panel show after dark in Scotland.
Do whatever you want. Nobody's going to call the shots except for you. And I think, you're so right. If it doesn't exist and nobody's going to commission it, just make it. Make it the way you can.
And have fun while doing it. I think that's what also we're, trying to make sure that, it's a good time, and that we are getting better at what we're doing and everything, so it feels still, quite useful. But it's still a lot of extra work you're putting on yourself every week.
Don't I know?
Yeah. Yep.
What's your favourite Scottish film?
Okay. I would say It's a tricky question.
Yeah.
But I would say one of my favorite Scottish films is Limbo.
Oh,
from 2020.
Have you not seen
it? It's so good. By Ben Sharrock. I don't know how to pronounce Sharrock.
We're gonna have to look it up.
Ben Sharrock. I'll say both, and then we can look it up later.
We'll pick the right one.
It's Limbo by Ben Sharrock.
Oh, good choice. I've absolutely seen that film.
Yeah. It is a drama comedy, but it does comedy in such a great way. Like it feels like it is a nice throwback to like the golden age of cinema of how much can you do silent. There's like this one really brilliant scene. Well, I'll tell you what it's about first. 4 refugees put on some Scottish island awaiting their status update in limbo, in purgatory, feeling of 4 people from different countries and different backgrounds, but all after this one struggle and just wanting to start a life, but being held back because we don't know, we haven't received your letter of whether you're allowed to stay or not. And so it's crushing, and to see what they have to go through, and the support group, as well as the maybe not so good side of things that they receive from this lack of from being in the space, and this lack of connection, and having to speak with their family by payphone, but there's one beautiful scene. So I was just talking to somebody about it not so long ago, and I was like, it's so funny. They're like, oh, is it funny? And I was like, it's hilarious. But it is a very dry comedy, and with very heart-wrenching moments as well. Nice. And I think for a feature, even in a true comedy, you need a low point. Yeah. But there's this one scene where they're waiting for mail, and it's completely silent, and you see the mail truck come up and hit every house except theirs, and drives away, and you just are checking in with them between every shot, and it's just so good. Yeah. The pacing is perfect. It's beautiful, surprisingly funny, surprisingly touching. Some of the characters are a little over the top, but in a really nice way, because I think you're from this perspective of someone coming in for the first time and going like, who are these people on a Scottish island teaching me about strange Scottish customs, and so it will feel odd.
It sounds like a feel-good kind of movie as well, which is also quite...
I mean, I'm sure there are parts that aren't feel-good.
Of course, it's going to hit hard too, but sometimes Scottish movies can lean on the really depressing side, so it's nice. It's nice when something's a bit more lighthearted.
And it is, I think, important to see a refugee point of view as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But not in a purely dramatic way, but bringing humanity and life.
Because that is a big Scottish experience, actually. We've got so many islands, and they are a place where we welcome refugees, but island life is hard.
Yes.
Sometimes there's not a boat every day. You can't access the mainland whenever you want. They get food delivered once a week, so it's whatever's available, and you're cut off. You're quite cut off.
I hear on islands they make their own laws. It's island law.
A little bit, yeah. I love that. There's some islands that have sort of self-appointed lords who kind of set the rules. Yeah. So my grandparents actually they went to an island on holiday and were informed of the rules when they arrived. And there's this dude, he made them all go to the cinema on the Sunday night to watch a movie together. No. You were not allowed not to do that, even though they were there on holiday. And they were like, oh my God. If I could remember the island,
I kind of love that.
Or I'll ask them and I'll slot it in.
Bring me to the cinema island.
Loads of stories about this mad island.
I think that would fix me. Is going somewhere and being like, here's your schedule. I'd be like, oh, thank God. I'm sick of making my own.
There's a film in this.
Yeah.
There's a comedy in this.
You're going to remember the island. You got to tell me.